Okay, I'm done tapping into my hunter-gatherer instincts for this morning. Got a pretty good little haul. So, I don't know how many people grew up eating muscadines. I don't know if it's a acquired taste type of thing, but I love them, but I did grow up with them. And, you know, you've got to kind of get used to the tough skin, and the wild ones especially have a lot of seeds. Sometimes there's certain parts that I might end up spitting out. Some of them are easier to eat than others, and you know, they do cultivate them. You can buy them. You can buy muscadines and scuppernongs. They're usually huge, super sweet, and not a lot of seeds. But the wild ones, I definitely say an acquired taste. But again, I grew up on them, and I love them. And my dad actually makes an amazing muscadine jam with them. Probably one of my favorite jams ever. So let me know if you've tried them and if you love them or hate them. Make sure they're dark. Dark purple, almost black. Because if they're still light purple, they can be pretty bitter. But these are pretty ripe, so they're really good. That one might not be ripe enough. There we go. So that one's a lot darker. So that's what you're looking for. So you can see the difference. That's what you want to pick right there. Leave those to ripen, because they're going to be so bitter you can't eat them. And you can also tell if you feel them and they just feel a little bit squishy versus real hard and firm, you know you're probably picking a ripe one. So that's your wild muscadine. That's the leaf. All over the southeast this time of year, mid-September. Nature's roadside, woodside snack. One thing that's interesting that a lot of people might not realize is a large amount of the forest ground cover is actually muscadine. So everything you can see on the ground, especially with those yellow leaves already coming out, that's actually all muscadine. So it is prolific, but the interesting thing is that only the vines climbing up trees, it's a woody vine, it has to use other trees and shrubs as support. Only the vines that climb the trees and get a lot of sunlight produce the actual muscadine fruit. So that's why roadsides, edges of fields are really good, because those muscadine vines are going to get a lot more sunlight than the muscadine growing here in a very shaded hardwood forest. So it's just a vine that does really well in a lot of sunlight. So that's muscadine vine on top of another tree, but I don't see much fruit. If there is, it probably already fell, but I wouldn't expect that to make a whole lot because it's so shaded. So anyway, I did collect these. These were actually on the ground which I don't normally collect, but they look like they had fallen pretty recently, like in the past 24 hours. And definitely check them thoroughly. If you pick them up off the ground, there's a very high likelihood they're going to have a lot of critters that have already gotten to them. So I just leave those alone, leave them for the critters. But if they look intact and haven't already been invaded by bugs or slugs, give them a little rinsing and you should be good to go. Wash carefully before eating. I like your method. I just wish we could get to the very top.
Plus, I could, well, I mean, I can.
I just stole a couple muscadines from my dad's collection. He found a huge vine just completely covering the entire canopy of a dogwood that we hadn't noticed. So he was trying to get some down from there, but it's on a really steep hillside, so they're very hard to reach. But these are actually really good. It's like this particular vine seems sweeter and just easier to eat than the ones I had found earlier this morning. But I don't know, it's just like they've got this distinct smell and they've got this unique flavor. It's almost like some people describe it as like a musky aftertaste, but I love how they smell. I mean, it's not like a plum. I don't know, it's like, I don't know how, it's in between a grape and a plum, and then its own unusual, unique, distinct smell. I don't know how to explain it, but anyway, it's kind of cool. It's got this very unique, distinct smell and taste to it that just regular grapes don't have. So anyway, I'm gonna enjoy my last little muscadine snack for the day and go cool off because it's really hot out today for some reason, which I'm not too happy about. Okay, you get enough of these and you process them down, simmer them down in a pot and add a lot of sugar, and you end up with this, the world's best muscadine jam. Maybe I'll get the recipe and post it if I can talk my dad into it. So I was thinking more about like the flavor and the smell, and these are super ripe, so they're really sweet smelling, and it kind of reminds me of like a grape bubble gum. And then the more I looked into it, I've never really paid that much attention to what I'm eating and tasting, but apparently a lot of the tartness is in the skin and the sweetness is in the fleshy part, and then the seeds, if you do eat those, they kind of add a little bit of a bitterness as well, even though everything's totally fine to consume. But I thought that was kind of interesting that that's where all the different flavors come from. That is everything I have learned looking up this well-loved wild fruit of the southeastern United States. So hope you've liked my little video educational series, all you never needed to know about muscadines. And let me know if you're gonna try them or if you have a favorite wild fruit or vegetable or mushroom that you like to collect. This is pretty much about it for me. I do not collect mushrooms. My stepson does that, my dad does that. I do not do that. But muscadines and what we call sparkleberry, so it's called Farkleberry as well. I call it sparkleberry or huckleberry. when it blooms. It makes little bitty dark berries. They're pretty good as well. But I'm really good at recognizing that, and that's the only thing I collect in the wild. I just do not want to make any mistakes. So anyway, thanks for watching. Here's the Sparkleberry I was talking about. They've ripened a lot just in the last couple days. And they're pretty good. They got a little bit of a tartness to them. But I like them. I don't really mind the tartness because they're so little. They have like kind of a little bit of a grainy texture when you bite into them. But they kind of look like blueberries. And they got these real shiny, sort of waxy looking leaves, and sort of a smooth, light colored, light brown bark. So they're pretty distinct in this area. So that's the only other one I like snacking on this time of year. Here's a pretty good size Sparkleberry. You can see that bark more distinct. And this is really tall. I mean, that's probably at least 15, 20 feet tall. And it's got berries on it. It's got a lot, actually. Camera probably ain't gonna show it. I think Sparkleberry, aka Farkleberry, aka Huckleberry, is one of those things people used to probably harvest a lot back in the day. And then, of course, modern generations don't even know what it is anymore. But I read that people used to make a lot of jams and jellies with them. I think you can make a pie with them. So it's just another neat native shrub that makes pretty yummy little, like I said, kind of tart, a little bit on the tart side, not really any seeds to speak of. If they are, they're too small for me to notice. So, and they're a little smaller than a blueberry, but that's the only other one that I'm good at identifying in this area of southern Appalachian Piedmont forest. So here's another common wild shrub called American Beautyberry that actually ended up in one of my other videos. And I was looking it up. I am familiar with it, but I didn't realize that apparently these are edible, and I did not know that. So now curiosity has overtaken me. They said they're stringent and lemony tasting. Not super popular to eat, but I think more popular for jams and jellies. There is one lady on YouTube that makes a homemade jam out of it, which is pretty cool. Okay. Not what I was expecting. So I knew this was a very popular shrub, landscaping shrub, American Beautyberry, because it is native and is very pretty, as you can tell. These beautiful, they call them purple, I call them magenta, berries. And apparently they are edible. I I wanted to try them out of curiosity because I'd never tried them before. But some of the other videos I watched, I think it said that it's actually better to wait till the first frost and the leaves fall off and then harvest the berries. And that particular video suggested just like throwing them in a salad, just kind of using them, I think, to, you know, complement, accentuate things. But then another lady made a jam with them. So I just wanted to try them. And apparently the leaves are a natural mosquito repellent, which is kind of cool too. Did not know that. But they're super tiny, as you can see. And they're not really like sweet. These aren't particularly lemony. I feel like I'm like maybe like a little minty aftertaste or something. But I almost have like I just used like a cleaner, like a house cleaner. I don't know. They taste like what Fabuloso smells like, which probably doesn't sound very appealing. So that's my take on the American Beautyberry. They said they were floral. I mean, I think of floral as being kind of, those were a little sweeter, but not much. So, okay, interesting. American Beautyberry. But it is a really cool native shrub to the southeast that, you know, is obviously coming out right now. And I think it does better in a good bit of sun as well.
That's a big persimmon tree.
So I'm driving around for work and noticed I was going straight by this persimmon tree right along the road, but I was able to pull off and go get a couple. It's got tons of persimmons in it. So this is just one other native tree that we have that makes this fruit every September, called persimmon. You definitely want these to be ripe. Do not try these if they are not ripe, because you will regret it. It's like the most stringent, bitter thing you'll put in your mouth. But when they're ripe, they kind of like have like a feel and consistency like a peach. And then they've got these pretty big seeds in them they're going to spit out. So they've got a handful of pretty good sized seeds. But they don't taste like a peach, but they're just real sweet. They're just kind of a real sweet fruit that the critters will eat if they can get to them. Everyone loves these things. But just another cool southeastern fruit that you can collect this time of year, along with the muscadines. And it's getting close to, I've noticed a few of the sparkleberry starting to ripen, but not all the way yet. But it's just cool that there's just like huge persimmon tree right there